Hello, my friends. Doing something a little bit different today. I've decided I finally want to try out Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. This is a role playing game. It's made by the same people who did a lot of the Pathfinder games, Owlcat games. Imagine, if you will, Baldur's Gate 3, but in the 40k universe instead. I've played maybe an hour of this, but I thought I'd start and do another playthrough. And I also had the idea that I really haven't done a lot for YouTube lately because it's so much work. Well, it's not so much work, it's just more work than I have time for to go through and edit the videos. But what I'm going to try with at least the first few episodes of this playthrough is upload the Twitch VOD directly to YouTube and see if people dig it. So it won't be edited and quite as clean as what I used to be able to do, but I think I've been letting, I don't know, the idea that I have to have super quality keep me from making anything at all. I mean, that I was just kind of ignoring my YouTube, which sucks because I like putting videos up there and hearing that people are watching them. But a little background on me from the Warhammer 40k perspective. It's been 20 years, but I used to work for Games Workshop in trade sales. I love the IP of Warhammer 40k. It's an incredibly dark view of the future of humanity, basically fallen under a fascist regime that's very stagnant. But it's a fun place to tell stories in. So let's jump in here. We can basically make whatever we want, and I imagine I've probably only got an hour or so while Simbaby is taking her nap, and that may be long enough for me to make a character. We'll see. The character creation engine is pretty robust. Oops, I clicked continue. I didn't mean to click continue. It's just so natural to click continue that of course you're going to do that. I played through, I think, about the first hour and a half of the story last week when she took a nap and really enjoyed it. And then was like, I think I kind of want to stream this and stream it from the beginning. So let's go back to main menu and start a new one. Here we go. New game. Main story. There's apparently a lot of add-ons you can get for this. So we may do that at some point. And I kind of wanted to play it on Daring, which it says it's not recommended for people unfamiliar with the Rogue Trader system, but I'm kind of familiar with it. I don't know if that's too much. Yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. If it just gets me wrecked, I'll deal with it. I like the games to be a little hard. Yes, that's what I want. All right, and we're going to make a custom character. They've got an example here of a soldier, an operative, and a warrior. Let's make our own dude and decide what we want to be. So we go through appearance first. Kind of want to be a heavier dude. I think I can be a heavy dude. Yeah, I can be a little tubby because I'm a little tubby. So I want the dude to be a little tubby. Do all of the faces have this intensive scarring on it? Should kind of a hairdo. Pick your hair color. Let's make an older dude with kind of some gray hair. Still don't quite know which face I want. That one. That one. And we'll see what sort of get to pick my eyebrow color too. Okay. Like, what sort of story is this guy telling? Maybe somebody who made it through the military and retired. Okay. So like he was a guardsman. He got out. You're going to do that. You're going to have some cool mutton chops, right? Well, not if I can't change the beard color. That's kind of weird. Okay, we can have some kind of blondish gray beard color. Skin tone, maybe a little pinker. So bro's got some scars. Maybe he made it out of the military. He's retired. Down for the Aquila on my face. You can get your bros fully tatted if you want to. I guess you could even be like some sort of weird chaos bro. All right, you make it out of the military. What sort of augmentations are you going to have? Probably some plugs on your head. I think that makes sense. What is that thing? Some sort of breathing apparatus? I don't know what those are. They look kind of cool. Double eagle? You could do it. Weird jawy bits. You would want a metal forehead within 24 hours of joining the Space Marines. We're not joining Space Marines. Maybe a little Matrix plug there.
I'll mention this triumph in my memoirs.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Your existence is naught but ashes.
The destination is known.
Deliver their demise. Macro cannons, volley!
Okay, I think that can sound like our dude. So we're basically retired guard officer, is what we're thinking here. I'm going to need to pick a different portrait for him, aren't I? Because I don't think he really looks like that. Which of these is like retired guard officer? Not really any of these. But I guess that doesn't matter so much. It's just the portrait. Yeah, sure. We can look like that for our portrait. All right, where are we from? We were reborn in space. We were reborn on a death world. An imperial world. An imperial world is one of the millions of planets united by the belief in the immortal god emperor. Hailing from hyper-technological societies to grimy feudal populations, the inhabitants of countless worlds offer fealty and devotion to the master of humanity and the imperial creed. The designation imperial world encompasses a vast array of dissimilar worlds that are nevertheless part of the Imperium. We get humanity's finest, select any characteristic and get a +10 bonus. And we get some random talents. Yeah, I think I'm down with being from an Imperial world. Afternoon, friendo. Okay. So what do we want it to be? What type of guy are we going to have here? If he's a retired soldier, he's probably going to be a pew 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 type of guy. Manipulate explosives with finesse or keep their footing when crossing treacherous terrain. It improves their initiative and dodge. Affects demolition. What does intelligence affect? Lore. Ranged attacks. Perception. How a character notices their surroundings. I actually kind of dig this. Like, I think if we're going to be retired guardsmen who got a little fat, we would be very perceptive. All right, so now here's our origin. You were in the guard, and we were a guard commander. Okay, that actually kind of fits what I was thinking. Imperial Guard, primary force of the Imperium in the first line of defense. You served as one of the commanders of the Astra Militarium Regiment, commanding thousands and winning battles in the name of the God Emperor. Yeah, this is exactly what I was wanting. Okay, cool. And now we can choose our triumph. Through reforms and leadership, you restored a broken regiment to its former martial glory. You and your guardsmen defended a shrine world and received a high recommendation. You utilized your talents as a commander to achieve a great victory over the ruinous powers. Yeah, I rebuilt a crappy regiment. And now our shame. You lost a regiment to the Immaterium during a Gellerfield failure, yet you yourself emerged unscathed. As the commander-in-chief of a disastrous military campaign, you were buried in shame. Captured by heretics, you suffered unbearable torture at the hands of humanity's enemies. All right. Bro got tortured. That's why he retired and got fat. That's what I'd do. And we said we wanted to be a soldier. You can only select one of the first tier archetypes. These are paths that your characters follow. Each archetype encapsulates a unique set of skills and experience and represents a specific combat specialization, from the frontline warrior to the indispensable leader, preferring to command from the rear. So if we're an officer, what does that do for us? Officers use their willpower and fellowship to improve the combat capabilities of their allies, turning them to even greater threats. Extra turns, single target buffs, rescuing allies, and momentum. I mean, this actually sounds like what I was wanting to do with him exactly. All right, we'll be an officer. All right, and I've got 30 points to allocate. And I need to be focusing on persuasion, I think, if we're going to be a leader. And fellowship. Character's ability to interact with other creatures, to deceive, charm, or befriend them. High fellowship will help a character find a way to approach a gathering of unsociable servants or effortlessly make deals. Let's buff that up a couple points. Perception, however, we talked about huge perception for this guy. I like that. And one more thing we can work on. So I've been a fan of 40K for a long time, Darmust. And I'd read about this game and was interested in it, but you know me, I've been like, I need some PvP in my game. But I got a little frustrated with Tarkov because it was fun when I could kill a level 50, but so often it was the level 50s killing me. And I just felt like I was falling behind, and I would get anxious if I missed a day streaming. And I was like, well, I can't stream Tarkov during the week because what if the baby wakes up from her nap? So I was like, this is a game I could actually stream now. That is something I'm interested in. That I can just turn off if she wakes up. So that was enough. Like, I played Baldur's Gate, the original, on my PC 20 years ago. You should probably have high willpower, too. Withstand the horrors of the warp. High willpower allows characters to exert control over a crowd. Okay. All right. So this is the ship we're going to land on. I'm guessing we can pick others after we've played through it a few times. Ignatius? Nah. We'll be Sim. All right. And I'm going to let all of the cinematics and voiceovers and everything play. Let's enjoy it together. I was 15 minutes to make my character. I thought it might take a little longer. I mean, I've got a Warhammer 40K tattoo on my arm. Never got any magic tattoos or Tarkov tattoos. So like, this is an IP that I love. Sim Wife and I have been watching some stuff on Warhammer Plus, which I highly recommend if you're a Warhammer fan.
excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
You are in dialogue. You can learn more about current events. Got it. So we're talking to this dude. I know nothing about Warhammer except that it's hugely popular and the tabletop game is incredibly expensive. Both of those are true. Both of those are true. I mean, the super short version of like the Warhammer story is we're far into the future and humanity has become trapped in a stagnant fascist regime. And it is the grimmest, darkest future imaginable for our people. Now, that kind of sounds depressing, but you can have some fun stories there, and it is all in service of making cool miniatures and war games. But the lore is actually a lot of fun. All right, so this dude's coming to talk to me. And he says, mesmerizing, an impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity. So even if we don't necessarily in our heart of hearts agree with that statement, we would need to as an ex-guard officer. So I would say truly an awe-inspiring sight.
That is the purpose of all temples to the God Emperor, to inspire awe and reverence. For it is the duty of his servants to persevere in their tireless service until they are presented with the chance to give their very life for the master of humanity.
Yeah, that's the party line, bud.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
We can introduce ourselves as Simulan, Lieutenant General Simulan Scipio Grimald, Commander of the 8th Army of Scythian Janissaries, or I have no intention of introducing myself. I'll do the title. We're military.
My regards, Lieutenant General. The Astra Militarum is the hammer of the God Emperor, isn't that what they say? Well, it is likely that fate will give you ample opportunity to demonstrate your talents as a commander.
Let's find out.
I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
So rogue traders, we're on a rogue traders ship. A, the ship is huge. It's bigger than most cities that we have on the Earth right now. And B, rogue traders are kind of a big deal. They're the ones that fly outside of Imperial space and are often the point of first contact for civilizations, lost human planets. Now, the Imperium is only humans. So if they encounter non-humans, some rogue traders will trade with them, but they probably should report them and just bomb the planet and get rid of them. But the xenophobia is kind of a big deal with this IP as well. So it's believable that a character could just get yoinked up and like, okay, you're distantly related to a rogue trader. This is your life now. Get ready. All right, so we got a rogue trader, Theodora. There's another candidate. So we can say Lord Captain, strange title. Not really, she's a rogue trader. Why have I been brought here? I mean, he just literally just told me that, so I don't need to say that. You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. I mean, he's a spy master. Duh. Tell me about the one on whose ship I have found myself. I imagine we're going to find that out soon. You say I'm one of the heirs. There's another candidate. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it. Okay, I like that one. Well, this guy's supposed to be like, I don't know, able to talk to people, but let's get down to business. You just brought me here. What's up?
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far.
Yes, very arduous.
The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Okay, so this Ethelthrad dude has the same last name, so presumably he's the other candidate. I have played through this part, so I know where we're going, and I don't have to follow this dude. This is just telling you can click on stuff. Like if you get close to stuff, you can look at it. Massive conference table crafted from real wood. Hmm. Praying at the shrine, like you do.
One of the von Valencius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around.
That's a Lehman Russ.
Your audience with the Lord Captain.
Type of battle tank.
What's happening? Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
So, quick introduction to combat. To survive in the grim darkness of the far future, you will have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. I think you can move yourself around where you want to be. It's not going to let me do it here, though. All right, we'll start the battle. So combat's grid-based and turn-based. You can see the initiative order over here. My face is kind of in the way. I'll fix that eventually. I can fix it now. It's kind of a big deal. Well, now you can't see the button. All right. This is the spot for a face right now. Isn't it? There, that's better. Movement and combat. All battles in game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On their turn, a character can move, attack, and use their abilities. Select a cell with a highlighted area and double-click on it to move the character there. Movement points determine how far a character can move on their turn. 1 corresponds to 1 cell on the battlefield. Moving diagonally costs 2. At the beginning of each turn, movement points are restored. Note that once a character starts moving, the action can no longer be canceled. Okay. We can move as far as we want and then take another action. We've got a stubber. We can do regimental tactics. Allies deal extra damage. Enemies that are adjacent to the commander or their allies. Okay. We've got voice of command. Forces an ally to fully push themselves, increasing their characteristics. I mean, I feel like we should probably just shoot this dude, so I'm going to do that. And we missed. I mean, I'm not... This is not my job. I'm a commander. Here. I'll command this bro. You, get a buff. Make it so. Let's try this again. Nope, still not doing it. All right, you. We'll use our tactics buff. Why not? Yeah, I'm bad with the gun. It is what it is.
Death to the heretics!
I hope I don't die on the first thing. I buffed that guy. He was supposed to do something. Alright, we fall him back, and then we'll shoot. Action points. To make attacks and use abilities in combat, player must spend action points. Every attack has action points. At the start of character's turn, they're restored. Yeah, I've already been doing this. Okay, that was an unusual tip to give me there. Can I buff this dude? He didn't want my buffs. Fine then, no buffs for you. Characters with melee weapons block adjacent enemies' abilities.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Very well. Hop, 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 hop. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Sure. I reckon I can do that. Use the map to orient yourself. Always a good idea. Tarantula sentry gun constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard construct. Okay, can I loot these dudes? Wires in the head of the servitor are still smoldering. Can't loot these dudes. Alright. This is a Lehman Russ, right? Lehman Russ battle tank. Reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor.
Victory awaits!
It sure does. Alright, so where's the boss lady? Said down this corridor. Presumably she's over here. Ah, there she is.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Righto, let's continue.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
We're perceptive. Let's look around. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valencius's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible, head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer.
All right.
Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
So it's kind of neat. We succeeded some of our skill rolls, so it's giving us more options to reply with. Spirits could be dangerous aliens. I would verify if that's the case and if the population engages in xeno worship. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening is witchcraft or not. It might cost us several psychers to do so, but it will give us the answer. I've retained some connections in the Guard. A few Guard regiments would take care of the natives. Their spirits in the magma. Solid fortifications have never let me down. I like that one. The reports of spirits sound like evidence of heresy. No, must be purged for the good of the Imperium. Yeah, let's go with this. I've got connections in the military.
Transportation, deployment, the unending bureaucracy of the Adeptus Administratum. All to achieve an unpredictable result. People are frail, especially when poorly equipped and trained, and facing an unfamiliar opponent.
She's not familiar with the Guard.
The wait alone might take an eternity. Not to mention that such a planet might present an opposing force that is not material in nature. Regiments and armies are not always a solution to predicaments, such as the one described. It would appear you do not know that.
All right, give a straight answer, which is more than you could do. We're both servants of the God Emperor and Lady Theodora. Yeah, we can call him out, or we can say, bro. Yeah, I think I'm going to rein this in, because we don't exactly know what's going on yet, and exactly what the power rankings here are. Just that this guy looks spindly, and they're supposed to be pitting us against each other. I don't need that.
Even among his flock, not all are of a piece. I suggest you familiarize yourself with that fact before you are sorely.
He's going to threaten me.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
What a little bitch.
So, why are you here?
Was it not you who sent for me? There are questions I wish to have answered. I do not know just yet. I hope you will clarify that. Yeah, that.
Clarity. A luxury that few of us can afford. There is a reason why I did not explain all the details of the question I posed to you earlier. Beyond the borders of the Imperium, seldom is one granted an opportunity to enjoy information in abundance. This, however, is one such opportunity.
Very well. Tell me about it.
My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all.
That's a decent enough explanation of what a rogue trader does. I mean, you kind of forge your own path as a rogue trader.
It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon. Resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with Fon Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
All right. That's a lot. Let's go with this is all too sudden for me. I can imagine retired guardsman is kind of like, bro, what's going on?
Perhaps. Yesterday you were just another servant of the Imperium, one of the faceless multitudes. Today, visitors in the Fon Valancius colors come to you without any explanation and escort you to a vessel that departs for the far-off Coronis expanse. But such is the nature of my position. My claim on you is sacred and non-negotiable. I require all those who possess even a drop of the Fon Valancius blood, no matter who they may be.
I don't know. I'm getting some bad vibes from her.
Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
All right. So the little spy master bro screwed something up and he was one of the heirs. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
All right, I'll tell her about the incident. I'm not going to ask her about warp and translation. It's really cool that this is here in the game, but I'm kind of getting into my role as an ex-guard officer here and going to try to enjoy this role-playing game as a role-playing game. But it's neat that it's here for people who don't know about this stuff. In 40K, to travel faster than light, they enter an alternate dimension called the warp, and there's a field that protects the ship from entities that live there. And you need a navigator to get you through that, and you'll translate out of real space into the warp and then back into real space again. It's kind of a neat way to solve the faster than light problem. But I think my dude's just going to tell her about the incident with the servitors.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
The Gellerfield is the field that protects you when you're in the warp.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
All right. I'm a guardsman. What are my duties?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edeltrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Right. I know how this works. She already told us we're going to the Cronus Expanse. This is my boss now.
In that case, I shall head to...
That doesn't sound good.
Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Excellent. Hey, what's up, Orcish? Pew, pew, pew. We got some cultists, yo.
Death will find you soon enough!
All combatants act in turn. Order of turns is displayed on the left. The character at the very bottom goes first. Then the one above them, and so on. So it'll be Theodora, Abelard, Mort, various heretics, me, other various heretics. Yeah, this is Baldur's Gate in the 41st millennium. There is a way to move your dudes, but I don't remember what it is. Maybe they won't let me do it yet.
Emperor, protect me.
A tactically sound approach. Reduced to dust!
This is an older game. It's been out for 2 or 3 years.
Stay vigilant. Die!
All right, don't want to mess with Mort.
Chaos guides me. I serve the ruinous powers.
Bro. Use cover to avoid attacks. Cover that a character can hide behind or marked with a shield. When standing close to them, character will take up an advantageous position. The character will not receive a bonus if attacked from a side not protected. Okay. This bro's shooting at me. If I go here, do I still have line of sight on him? It seems like it would tell me. But it's not. Let's find out.
Tactics are flawless.
I've still got a little bit of movement if it doesn't work. Yeah, I've still got line of sight. All right, so let's use our voice of command on this dude because he seems to know what.
Time for this.
He doesn't want my voice of command. Well, screw you. Okay, then all I can do is shoot my crappy revolver. I can also shoot at this dude. That one might be more useful because Mort can handle this. So, all right, I'll see what I can do here.
All too easy.
Nah, probably just miss. I'm a commander, not a fighter.
Death to the weak.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
She's got a plasma pistol. Nice.
I took care of this one.
I figured Mort could handle that.
Out of my way. Death to non-believers.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Your character has received a temporary positive effect from an ally. They enhance your character's capabilities. To learn more about the effect, hover over the cursor. I have gained Kill Them. Plus 50 ballistic skill. That seems useful. Can I hit this dude from here? I can. Well, then let's do that.
Nothing I can't do. Nothing of value has been lost.
Well, there you go.
Chaos guides me.
I got one.
For now.
Reduced to dust.
I helped.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
What is happening? What are your orders? I know what's happening. There's a chaos revolt on the ship. What do you want me to do, boss?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
You got it, boss. Alright, can I loot stuff yet? I want to loot stuff. No, I can't loot stuff. Alright, I guess we just gotta go see if Bro needs us.
Weakness.
Is this not where he went? Okay, maybe I will have to use the map. I guess we go this way and see what's up. What's this? Heretic's body is riddled with holes. There's an improvised shotgun. Eventually, I think I can loot my enemies, but not yet. Alright, looks like they took care of that before I got there.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, hold yourself together.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Alright, the story is just getting started. But to be on the safe side of things, I'm going to save us here. Well, actually, I'm going to finish this dialogue and then save us before the baby wakes up.
Assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
Got Chaos Worshippers on your ship, lady.
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Alright. Mutiny who would attempt a mutiny here. Bad guys. I already know that one. Execute the traitors. That's a good idea. We must provide assistance to those on the middle decks. If this is a severe case of warp madness, then the situation is dire. Let's provide assistance. That's what we're here for.
First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once.
Very well.
Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
You're not wrong.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers.
They're gonna send me with him. All right, I think this is a spot Nope, it will still won't let me save it. All right, we'll
Then
get there.
it's settled. Find Ethelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I hear and obey.
Then move out! Mort, come.
There we go. I wanted to keep the gaming session close to an hour because she usually will nap for at least an hour.
Are you ready to head to 18?
So once he stops babbling, I'll save it.
And you do not even have proper gear.
I have a proposition. Since I am the more important person, you can go first. No. You'd better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. I shall make do. Lead the way.
Of course you will. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
Oh. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen. You are consumed by an unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. I promised you a special destiny, Simulan. It is time to fulfill it. He was a bad guy. Not a good guy.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see.
The Warrant Chamber is what... Well, she explained that earlier, actually. That's kind of her sacred writ. To be able to explore outside the bounds of humanity's borders and do whatever the hell she wants. You two-faced scum. You are the one behind this mayhem. Yeah, I can be righteously angry at him now.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself.
You're gonna have to squeeze it, bro.
We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel. An ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Information is power. Let's see what he'll tell us.
Why? Because I am following an order. What is happening on this ship right now has been in the making for a very long time. All that remains is to obtain what my master sent me for. The Warrant of Trade.
Alright, well I ain't helping you.
I am afraid that you have no choice in the matter. Try to resist, and I will demonstrate the power that the warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so.
Yeah, you go ahead. To the void with you. The blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a moment, you feel nauseous. Your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. Great. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replicating them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Fight the voice. Yeah, I'm gonna fight the voice. The voices giggle and mock your outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step. Alright, fine, we're possessed. Examine the device. Oh, we got a skill check. Neat. And the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built from the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns its head toward you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. You carefully inspect the design of the cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as a material for the components, some kind of which you are unfamiliar with. You suspect this might be an Archaeotech relic. Cool. The servitor begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward. The lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols and a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that fill your head after Voidveer wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the sentinel, place your hand in, look back, look for a weapon. Look for a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel. Alright, let's look back at Bro.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
We've already examined it. I guess the only thing we can do is stick our hand in. The sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo monitors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath, maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever...
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the sentinel, the cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Yeah, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Excellent. Hopefully they just take out the heretics and not precious little me.
Well, there is still another way.
All right, I've got to check out the warrant chamber. And I think we can finally save our game. So we'll call this stream game. Save it. Game saved. Okay, cool. I'm gonna call it here, and if she takes a nap tomorrow, we'll play some more tomorrow.